Hey guys, Cam for 15, jumping my Uncle Daryl. We're back talking NFL football after what was a pretty really dang good week one of NFL football. Going into week two, I know we missed the Buffalo Bills Dolphins game. Now, if I didn't have to
No,
go,
we didn't. That game was an
I
ass whooping
know.
from rooter
Talking
to the
about giving our
tutor.
predictions at least.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I was about to say, honestly, I'm glad we didn't predict because I would have came into this week and I would have picked Miami.
Yeah.
I just was not impressed with Buffalo week one. So that tells me a lot about the Cardinals, though.
Yeah, you're right about the Cardinals.
Yeah, man, that tells me a lot about the Cardinals with the way Buffalo played against Miami, how they just beat the living crap out of them, and Josh Allen barely threw for 100 yards, 139 or something like that he threw for, and they whooped their behinds by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Man, Buffalo is good. That
Yeah.
tells me a lot about the Cardinals. Don't sneeze on them.
Yeah, so just to get it out the way, Buffalo ended up
Yeah.
blowing out Miami. Miami is just like our Chicago Bears in terms when it comes to their division rival. They just can't beat the opposition. It doesn't. They're like 12-2 against the freaking
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like the Bears and the Packers. The Packers just been kicking the Bears butt year after year after year.
Yeah.
We think things are gonna change, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Same old.
And it don't matter the location either.
Yeah.
Miami was at home.
Yeah.
And
And I was watching the game. They said like it was like pretty dang humid out there too.
yeah. And
So
normally you would think a cold weather club like Buffalo. Now, granted, here it
mhm,
is. We're in September, so you don't really expect any team to be affected by the weather. Not
yeah,
until we get into, let's just say, December.
yeah,
That said, Buffalo is still what we consider, their normal climate is this time of year, the 50s, rainy, cold, not freezing cold, but cold. They
yeah,
go to Miami, man, I gotta admit, they whoop their behinds from the rooter to the tutor. And the icing on the cake is when they put Tua Tagovailoa out in the third quarter. It was just it was just a bad game overall for Miami. I don't know what I don't know what he brought into the week of preparation for them. It didn't work. It didn't work.
yeah. They specified throughout the game that I was listening to, like, Kurt Herbstreit on the call was basically saying like all Buffalo's doing is just doing two high safeties,
That's
basically
it.
during the bill, basically telling the Dolphins, hey, we're not gonna have Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill beat us over the top. So
Yep.
you either have to take these dump off passes, or you're just
Yep.
gonna have to run the ball, which they were running the ball
Yep.
effectively, but modern NFL standards today, it's just like, well, we got to pass the ball. We got to pass the ball because we got to inflate our
Correct.
stats instead of just
Correct.
running the ball and just, I don't know, because Achane was actually doing really dang good this game, but they just kept giving him the ball. He was getting like almost 10 yards a carry.
Correct.
But
Correct.
Mike McDaniels, he comes from the Shanahan tree, and it's like, well, we got to pass out at there and everything. There were some
Yep.
questionable play calls that I was just like, what the hell is this and everything. Just from the jump, the game was just once Tua threw that first interception, it was just completely like just gone away
Yeah,
from
you
what the
felt like the
Dolphins had.
game was actually over at that moment.
Oh yeah.
That's how I felt. I was just like, oh man,
After he threw the second one and they went up 17-7, like this game is over.
yeah. I was gonna say there's no way Miami's going with the way Miami playing. I'm shocked that they didn't put a 50 spot on them. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. And the ones that kept running the ball was Buffalo.
Yeah.
And more importantly, they were running the ball, but they were doing it with James Cook.
Cook. Yep.
They were doing it with James Cook and Josh Allen. I think he only ran the ball maybe 2 or 3 times, if that.
Yeah.
They came in the game trying to keep him in the so-called pocket. And they were like, okay, all right, we're just going to let these other dudes run the football. Because keep in mind, I mean, they're coming in with not a great cast of wide receivers. So you can kind of tell, we kind of touched on it last week, that Buffalo's intent is to run the ball more.
Hmm.
beat you up with that big offensive line and run the ball more. They are not going to sit up here and drop back 30, 40, 50 times with Josh Allen. Now, granted, it turned out that way in week 1 against the Cardinals because the Cardinals put points on the board.
Yeah.
But, man, Miami got their ass whooped from the opening quarter to the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it made it all worse when Tua went down.
Yeah, that's obviously the major highlight or the major talking point about this game. I know, especially this morning, all the talk shows, and even a little bit last night, people were talking about, well, maybe, Tua should retire. My stance on is this. You have to, I'll say this. He makes his own decision. If he wants to continue playing, that's on him. Now, if I was the doctors, I keep him out as long as possible till he is 100% cleared to go. There is no symptoms of the concussion thing. And then on top of it, the NFL implemented the guardian cap things this training camp, and now players are allowed to wear them during games. I tell you, hand him the guardian cap and be like, put this on, and you're wearing it the rest of your career, however long you play it. But he does have to think about potential retirement, because on the concussion, it was just honestly, it was just a light tackle, and he still got concussed of it. And then you could just see the symptoms where he was like squeezing down on his hands and he was getting up slow. The teammates walked up to him basically telling him, stay down, just get the doctors and everything.
Right.
I didn't watch it live. I just saw scrolling on Twitter, at a stoplight driving home, and then I'm like, this guy got another concussion again. I'm like, he might have to seriously think about retirement. And I definitely could see his family more than likely trying to push for it. And I understand he just got paid, but at the same time, with the fact of CTE and all the brain stuff, now we have this great technology, which will even further be enhanced. And you see the debilitation of an NFL player's brain because of the sport. It's a scary thing. And for Tua, this is his 3rd concussion or whatever we've seen him have. And
I thought it was 5.
Yeah, it might be more. I'm just saying his 3rd one in the last few years.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was thinking 5 total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, obviously that's going to be a thing. And at that point, I'm like, well, the Dolphin season is just completely over because they're going to hold him out as long as possible.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
For me, and you've played football just like I played basketball. And speaking from this point of view, it is damn hard to give it up. It really is. It is damn hard to give it up. So I understand that he's got a lot of decisions he has to make. I'm pretty sure that he's going to stay in prayer. His family is going to stay in prayer. The fans are going to stay in prayer for him as well. But it is really, really difficult to give it up. Sometimes you think about your body, but if your body can play, then you keep going. That's usually, if I can stand, I can play. If I can walk, I can play. But this is different. Concussions are mental. It's a neurological. It's neurology. So it's a different aspect of the athlete on whether he can physically take the pounding day in and day out. So but now, me personally, from where I sit, I would probably say he should stand on the side of caution and give it up.
Yeah.
I mean, because you are right. That lighter tackle, and he still got a concussion out of it. I mean, long scheme of things, that's not good.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not talking about the money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the money because for me, From where I sit, if you love to play, the money is not a factor.
Yeah. And
Yes,
you would
get
think
paid.
you'd think the Dolphins would cover basically the rest of his career or rest of
Of
his life.
course. Well, I mean, legally, they can't take his money away.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think he's worried about that because I think
Yeah.
he's basically going to be due somewhere around 80, 90 million.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't take that away.
Yep.
Because he's killing. He basically killed himself. So yeah, give him the 90 million, dog. Don't even enter into that media battle. Whereas you're going to try to usurp some of his money, all because he's no longer able to play. That's a bad look for the Dolphins, and they should just eat that money.
Yeah.
So but I don't think they can. So anyway, that being said, money aside, man, it's as an athlete for something that you love to do, it is damn hard to give that stuff up. I mean, it is damn hard. Here it is. I'm almost 60. I love basketball so much. I just got finished. I played today.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, granted, it was guys my age, but it's really difficult to give it up. So, again, let's all stay in prayer, and hopefully he makes a decision, and he will. He'll make the decision that's best for him and his family.
Mm-hmm.
That much I can tell you. I trust in him.
Yep.
So, but man, it is really difficult to give that up. I mean, you've had Brady play 20 years. Elway played a long time. Here it is. You got Rodgers right now. He can barely run from the snap of the football to the back to hand it off. He was struggling. But the reason he's still out there is because dude love to play. It is really difficult to get that up. And a lot of people need to understand that from the athlete's point of view.
Yeah. Well, moving off on that topic, we'll get into week 2, and then we'll even reflect on some of the team's week 1 performances. So, first game, Raiders at the Ravens. Ravens should win this game in easy fashion. The Raiders didn't look impressive against the
Come on,
Chargers.
well, they didn't look. I mean, they didn't look impressive at all against the Chiefs. That offensive line was in shambles.
Oh
They were
yeah,
horrible.
yeah. The offensive line.
They were horrible,
Yeah.
and they still had an opportunity to win the game.
Yep. As long as,
So I'm going back to what I've always said over the past 2 years. Don't trust the Raiders. I don't. Not even on my worst day, I will trust the Raiders. Ravens should whoop this team up by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I'm already seeing on Twitter Raider fans already hating Luke Getsy press conferences. We warned you. We warned y'all.
Told you.
So, enjoy Luke Getsy and his no nonsense press conference. While in the meantime, I'm looking at Shane Waldron, even though I didn't think he particularly called a good game, but again, those were other issues and stuff like that. At least he actually admitted in his press conference there's things I could have did better, play calling the game and personnel.
Correct. Well, but if we're talking about percentages, and I know we getting off topic with the Bears, and I'm sorry, I'll make this quick, but Waldron, yes, he didn't. I don't think he called a bad game, but the plays he called were ruined by his piss poor offensive line.
Yeah.
We really don't really know if he called a bad game because the offensive line was just that bad. Center, right guard, the interior linemen were absolute. They were in high school. Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah, Ravens should win this game decisively. Lamar should give me a good fantasy point because Tyreek clearly didn't because they played like dog crap. But whatever.
Dude, I had Keon Coleman in my lineup. He only got one target. He only got one target. He did nothing. Because they ran the ball so doggone much, they didn't have to pass the football.
Yeah.
I know now. I know now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, with Luke Getsy.
But luckily for me, the guy that I'm playing, he had 3 Dolphins in his lineup to include Tua Tagovailoa. So I still got a shot in my fantasy this week.
I don't know about my opponent. He got like all the good players. He got that San Francisco backup running back.
Oh, I got him too, but I didn't. And you know what? Because I got Josh Jacobs, Bijan Robinson, and Saquon Barkley, I'm not putting them in. Although I'm considering
I'd honestly replace him for Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, I'm considering it. I'm considering it, but Jacobs is dealing with, I think, a back injury. Now that I think about it, and then on top of that, no Jordan Love.
Yeah. Yeah. Luke Getsy offense the Ravens should dominate them. Their defense is really dang good still. Now
Mm-hmm.
Luke Getsy offense is going to be ineffective. Plus, it's Gardner Minshew starting. So, anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
moving on. The Browns versus the Jaguars in Jacksonville.
Mm. Mm.
I'm gonna
You know,
say I'll
no,
go Jacksonville because strictly the quarterback play, I think, will be
yeah,
somewhat better than
yeah.
whatever the hell I watched last week with Deshaun Watson.
And then on top of that, he got accused of
Yep.
sexual assault again.
Yep.
Again. So it's another negative week, negative press, a bunch of junk that's coming into the week of Cleveland that's got nothing to do with football. And I'm pretty sure the organization, the players, and everyone, the fans are just sick and tired of Deshaun Watson.
The worst part is they can't get out of that contract.
They can't get out of the contract because it's fully guaranteed. Yo, yeah, I'm going with Jacksonville.
Yeah. Even though Jacksonville blew that game late, they had no
Yeah.
business losing that game.
Nope.
These two
Nope.
teams did play each other last year, but it was in Cleveland. And it was
Yeah.
coming, and it was when Trevor Lawrence was coming back off injury at that point in time. But I think the Jaguars will win this game just barely. Cleveland's defense is legitimately still dang good.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the offense with Deshaun Watson was so inept. They couldn't,
Yeah.
the Cowboys dominated them last week.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, you know, and you got and you got plenty of superstars. I shouldn't say superstars, really good players on that Dallas defense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
We'll go on from there.
Yeah.
Next game will be the New York Jets at the Tennessee Titans.
I like the Jets.
I'll go with the Jets. It's going to be interesting to see how their defense plays this week. Now, I thought their offense was fine. I can understand why they didn't score as much point because they literally went up against the #1 team in the NFC. But their defense, just with the fact that it was hyped up to be like, oh, it's going to be a really good defense led by Robert Saleh, that defense got gashed.
Well, keep in mind now,
yeah.
That San Francisco offensive line was dominant.
It's no joke. It's no joke.
It was dominant. It was so dominant that a north and south runner like Jordan Mason eat their ass up for 150 yards. And he's a north and south runner.
Yeah.
So he's just going to run in a straight line. That's it. So
yeah.
I like the Jets still based on the fact that the Titans offense just ain't.
The thing is, the Jets defense, if you saw the Bears game, the Jets defense got to get pressure and make Will Levis make a quick decision because you saw in that second half, or in the first half, when he had no pressure on him, Will Levis was doing whatever he wanted to do. He was fine and everything. Correct. And then in the second half, the Bears turned up the pressure, and then he started making catastrophic mistakes. Like the Bears made the Titans O-line look good in the first half, but then like in that second half, I'm like, this Titans O-line ain't that good actually. It's,
no.
You know, you get any pressure on these dudes, they'll break down.
Correct.
It is going to be interesting to see how the offensive line for the Jets does hold up against the defensive line of Jonathan Simmons and Sweat. I didn't even know, you know, I know Sweat was good on Texas, but I didn't think he was that damn good. He was blowing up everything.
Everything.
He a big boy. He a big dude.
So you know, for me, it's a tale of, you know, two different offensive lines, the San Francisco offensive line and the Titans offensive line. It's like night and day. The Jets, I'm not going to sit up here and say they're going to have a field day, but with Quinnen Williams on that offensive line, he should have a field day.
Yeah.
He should have a field day. So, but keep looking at Aaron Rodgers. He did not look like he was 100%. He looked like an old man out there, and he looked old. And that offensive line, him and Brees Hall is going to have the most amazing game for this season for the Jets to even be considered for the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I'm going with the Jets. I think they're better. I think Will Levis is long. The Titans could win this game based on. I think their defense is actually pretty good. You know, I kind of underrated their defense last week, a bit, but their defense I think is actually pretty legit and
Yeah,
underrated. It's all
yeah,
up to what Will Levis does at the offensive side of the helm. And if you got your coach
correct.
talking about, oh, if we only punted every single possession, we would have won that game. That's not glowing remarks on your quarterback.
No, no. And then on top of Levis is what, second year in the league? I
Hmm.
mean, come on now. I mean, let's be honest. You guys knew that he wasn't going to be a top five quarterback when you draft him. So I mean, you know,
Yeah,
and he can't.
it's all about
Yeah,
development.
correct. So if you know he's not going to be a top five quarterback, then you got to make sure that you put pieces around him so that when things break down, he can still do really good things. But
Mhm.
I mean, and also don't help that DeAndre Hopkins is not there.
Well, he played in the game, but he really didn't do much of anything.
I didn't
Calvin
think he was
Ridley
going to
didn't
play
do
at
much of
all.
anything last
I like
week.
Calvin. I like Calvin really, but he ain't a number one. A number two.
Yeah.
Hopkins is the number one, but he's
Yeah.
on the tail end of his career. So I don't see him hanging around too much longer because it looks like to me his body is breaking down because he's always coming up lame somewhere.
Yeah.
So but yeah, the Jets should win this football game.
Next game up, the 49ers travel to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go with the 49ers just from the way they
Yeah,
look.
I'm gonna go for the 49ers too. But the more important thing to watch is Chris McCaffrey's health.
Yeah.
Because I think they're, due to that whole Kevin Durant thing some years ago, a lot of teams are very weary with calf injuries. So I think they're calling this an Achilles strain or calf/Achilles strain. And, Christian is saying he's good to go. And even the coach is like, hey, if this is the playoffs, he's good to go right now. Okay. All right.
I wouldn't play him against the Vikings.
I
Not
wouldn't play him
not
against the
against
Bucs either.
not against Brian Flores' aggressive defense, and then also Harrison Smith. I don't like him because I think Harrison Smith a dirty ass player.
Yeah. So, and that's also another reason why I'm not really too crazy about playing Jordan Mason. Um, because that front seven of Minnesota is, they were impressive last week, but at the
They were
same time, it was
impressive,
against the Giants.
but then again, it was
It
Daniel
was, it was
Jones
a
and the
giant.
Giants.
Yeah, it was against the Giants. But if we're just talking about an NFL football team, yeah, that defense looked, really good. So, we'll
Sam
see if
Darnold
they
looks
can.
solid too.
Well, you're throwing to that wide receiver, that receiving core.
Yeah. Oh, they ruled Jordan Addison out though. Jordan Addison's gonna be out this week.
Yeah, but you still got Justin Jefferson. And one thing the 49ers don't have is what everyone calls a shutdown corner.
Did
Defense.
Hufanga play on Monday night?
Hufanga's not a corner.
Well, I know, but was he playing?
Honestly,
I didn't see him.
I didn't see him
Is he
either,
still
but
hurt
that
from
doesn't
that injury he had last year?
probably, but I didn't see him. That doesn't mean he didn't play, but
Yeah.
he just probably was quiet.
Yeah.
But even be that as it may, he's a safety. He's not a
Mhm.
corner. They don't have a shutdown corner, which is sometimes what worries me about the 49ers. They do a lot of zone, cover three, cover two. They do a lot of zone. So they don't have that one guy that can just, take away half the field, like maybe a few teams in the leagues do. So if you can actually keep the pass rush out of your backfield, you can probably do some things against the 49ers. But so we'll see what Sam Darnold can do and what that offensive line in Minnesota can do.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the 49ers as well.
Yeah. Same. Oh, brother. Chargers versus Panthers. And the Panthers look god awful.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I think the Giants and the Panthers are gonna be neck and neck for the worst football team in the league.
The fact that Bryce Young threw an interception on the very first play, that ain't good. That's not good. And then they lose their best defensive player on their team this week.
Yeah, they.
David
Well,
Tepper.
all I can say is Carolina, thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna get the 33rd pick.
Thank you. You know, we
So,
got our first round picks out of y'all, and I think you all are gonna be, getting those number one picks back real soon.
yeah. Chargers should destroy the Panthers.
Even Shit, I hope so. I got Dan Marino Jr. in my other fantasy league.
Oh,
That's
Herbert.
my QB. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Next
But
up, go ahead. Yeah,
John Harbaugh likes to run the ball, so I expect a lot of that with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. But yeah, the Chargers should win this game going away.
that was a gritty win by the Chargers last week, though.
Yeah, it was. But that's
Harbaugh. That's Harbaugh team.
That's Harbaugh. Smash mouth football, physical at the line of scrimmage, and he don't come out of it.
Yep. So we'll definitely see Chargers should win this game easily. Next game up, Seattle at the New England Patriots. The Patriots ended up shocking the Kansas City Bengals and beating them, but I don't think they're going to beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, but the Patriots did look good. I don't know if the Patriots won that game or just Cincinnati.
I think Cincinnati lost that game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go with Seattle too, but it would not shock me if the Patriots get this one too. It just would not shock me. I mean, if it's a close game, I think the Patriots can pull this out. But I mean, I'm gonna go with Seattle. But I was really impressed with how the Patriots won at the line of scrimmage. They just played old school fashion football. Stevenson ran for what? It was like 160.
I think so.
Something like that. Got a good running game, run the ball, stop the run, the quarterback don't make any mistakes. All of that was the Patriots last week, and that's how you win football games.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Seattle.
I'm going to go Seattle. I will say Seattle does need to look a little better on offense, but,
Yeah.
So
and Kenneth Walker looked really strong.
Yeah.
So,
Moving on, the Saints at the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm not falling for that 47-10 ass whooping that they put on the Panthers. I'm not falling for it. I'm not sipping that tea. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys until I actually see New Orleans put that kind of offense on a really good defense.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, the New York Giants at the Washington Commanders.
Oh, Jesus. You go ahead.
Listen, I know Caleb Williams didn't look good. I didn't think Jaden Daniels looked good either against Tampa Bay, other than him running the football. Also, he needs to learn how to slide too. Yeah. He got his helmet knocked off.
Well, at least Caleb slides.
Yeah.
So, but
I didn't think he looked too impressive. The stats will say otherwise, but half the stats he showed was garbage time when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were playing prevent defense and not even giving a crap.
Yeah, but this is the Giants.
Yes, Jaden Daniels should play better because this is the Giants.
This is the Giants.
Whatever the Giants do offensively, I don't care. Daniel Jones don't look impressive. Now, I don't approve of fans literally as the man's walking out trashing him. Like, you don't need to do all that, but he wasn't good. No, and also, too, I think it's the 100th season. Who approved those ugly ass throwback jerseys?
Hey, you got to do something to take the pressure away from how bad you are as a football team. The one that I hate, and I hate this for Brian Dabble.
Yeah.
Because, I think he's a really good football coach. He just
They should have just drafted JJ McCarthy and had him sit behind Daniel Jones for a year and then moved on.
Yeah. Or trade your first round pick and get more
I don't
picks.
think, yeah, that, I don't know.
You know.
Because none of the top three teams were trading out of where they were at.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And nobody wanted Daniel Jones. So, but Washington should win this football game.
I want to be shocked if they lose this game for the fact that their defense didn't look impressive, and plus they're starting rookie quarterback.
That's true.
Rookie quarterback.
I'm gonna go with Washington.
I'm gonna go Washington.
I'm gonna go Washington. But that's because they can actually run the football.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but I'm gonna go with Washington.
Yeah. Tampa Bay at the Lions. Rematch of the divisional round.
Yep. Baker Mayfield.
He looked good last week.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I know it was against the Commanders. I know.
Four touchdowns.
Yeah. I'm still gonna be anti NFC North. I'm going Buccaneers. I just don't like the Lions. If Matthew Stafford and played better, the Lions would have lost. They converted that first down in the last Rams drive. But
I don't think Tampa Bay is that team yet that can go on the road and steal a game like this. Tampa Bay is always 9-8, 8-9, 10. They're always teetering at 500 is because from where I sit, and I'm pretty sure there's some type of, they just don't play as well on the road as they do when they're at home.
Yeah.
They just don't play as well. And they're going to Detroit. That's a tough place to win.
Yeah.
It is. So, and their defense, if you're going to win on the road, you got to have a championship defense. And Tampa Bay just ain't got that. I mean, they got a really good play. They got, Baker Mayfield is playing well. They got an elite wide receiver. They got a good receiving core when you couple in Chris Godwin. So, K-Dot and the tight end. I mean, they got good receivers, but when it's all said and done, I just don't think they got enough to keep Detroit from scoring, 3, maybe 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Moving on to the next game, the Indianapolis Colts play the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers will be starting.
You honestly think Malik Williams gonna get a win?
No.
Okay, all right.
The Colts will have a very impressive performance against the Texans.
I told you, man. I'm sticking with them two teams that you just don't sneeze on, and that's Arizona and Indianapolis this year. Anthony Richardson looked like a Pro Bowl quarterback. The only problem was his defense let him down.
Yep.
But
the Colts should win this game.
Colts should win this. They should win this game.
I'm not saying easily, but they should win this game.
No, I'm not going to say easily either, but they should win this game.
We'll be back to talk about the rest of the week 2 predictions because we run out of time. So
that's okay.
We'll hit you.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we're back. Next game up, which will start the afternoon slate of games on Sunday. The LA Rams at the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona.
You're going Arizona?
I'm going Arizona.
I'll go with the Rams for one more week.
Going Arizona.
Arizona was impressive. Arizona was impressive last week in Buffalo.
No Puka Nacua?
Yeah, no Puka. He already on IR.
Yeah, he's out for the next 4 weeks at least. So,
Yeah.
um, and even if he was in, I'd probably still go with Arizona.
I'll go with the Rams for this week. But
Okay.
the Cardinals, I won't be shocked if the Cardinals do find a way to win this game. They were very impressive. They were up 17, I think nothing against Buffalo.
Yeah, against Buffalo. Mm-hmm.
And Josh Allen had to will the team back just to win that game.
Yep.
So yeah.
So yeah.
Marvin Harrison actually wasn't the one doing the damage. So
Uh-uh.
it was actually
Nope.
James Conner, James Conner was doing a lot of damage. He helped me in
Conner,
fantasy last week.
and Trey McBride.
Trey McBride.
I think, yeah. So I mean, and I like Trey McBride to this week too.
Yeah.
I think so much focus is going on Marvin Harrison Jr. that they're just weighing the scale as far as who would be what's the one player we should actually try to take away from Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're going to try with a rookie. Okay. Yep. All right. Good luck with that, Arizona.
Next game up. Steelers at the Broncos. And the only thing that I wish we were getting is this was the game Russell Wilson played because it would have been a revenge game. But Justin Fields is going to be starting. And I'm completely fine with that as a Bears fan because, hey, keep playing. Keep playing Justin Fields so we can raise that 6th-round pick to a 4th-round pick.
4th-round pick, yeah. Yeah. So I talked to another good buddy of mine who's a real big Steelers fan, and he says, hey, there is no quarterback controversy. He said for him, it's Russell Wilson. That when he's able to play, he will play.
Yep.
So if I'm to believe that, then yeah, this whole thing, Justin Fields is just temporary. But if he wins next week, man, and keep in mind, it was a tough game on the road.
Yep.
And Denver did put up some points, against Seattle last week. But I mean,
you can say Bo Nix didn't look good either, just as much as he didn't look good like Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams.
Oh, well, I mean, they're rookies. So what do you expect? You just got the media. No. I mean, in the end, when it's all said and done, these cats are rookies.
Yeah.
These cats are absolute rookies, and they're going to look like rookies, the majority of this season. So let's just get off the whole, these guys are superstars from day one. Let's watch them as they grow. Oh, man, these guys are rookies. They're going to struggle. Hell, Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions his rookie year. So, but he eventually became great. So, yeah, that all that being said, Pittsburgh should still win this football game because that defense is damn good.
That defense is legit. It's not going to be another easy task for Bo Nix.
That's correct. That defense is badass. So,
the same thing applies with Justin. Just don't turn the ball over.
Yep.
Run the ball. The team in scoring range, and this week, hopefully, the team scores touchdowns as opposed to getting.
Yep. I mean, granted, no team wants to say our best player of the week, our best player this week was the kicker. Yeah. No team wants to say that. So I'm pretty sure that they are going to try they're going to try really hard to make sure that Chris Boswell actually, doesn't do a lot other than kick extra points. And I think they lost their punter because he got hurt in the Atlanta game. So they might be signing a new one if they haven't done so already.
Yeah. Broncos, I thought the defense was solid. Their defense was solid. Offense definitely got to play better. Obviously continue to run the ball, make it easy for Bo Nix. They made Bo Nix throw 42 times. Sean Payton, what are you doing?
It's Payton. That's who it is. Yeah. So I mean, he wants I had this conversation with cousin sometime ago. They're like, listen, everybody guy who thinks he's the smartest person in the room.
Yep.
It's like, stop acting like you the smartest guy in the room and you can turn a rookie into a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
You know. So, and for me at this particular moment, that's Sean Payton. He think he's the smartest guy in the room, and whatever he touches is gonna turn to gold. Well, I'm sorry, but you ain't winning this. You ain't winning this year either.
Yeah.
Because you got a rookie quarterback.
Yep. The last game of the afternoon slate, we only got 3 afternoon games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. At least move
Yeah.
one of these games to the freaking late time, an afternoon game.
No, I'm good where I live. I'm good with the noon
With just 3.
I'm good with the noon game. That
Okay.
means I can watch all these games 7 p.m. my time, and I can
Well, you're gonna be staying up late this week because the Bears play on Sunday Night Football.
I know, right? So
Bengals at the Chiefs. The Bengals do not look good at all.
nope. They
T.
don't
Higgins
have
is
Joe
out, I
Mixon.
think, this week.
They don't have a running game. They don't have
Yep.
T. Higgins. The offensive line still look like crap.
Joe Burrow
And
don't look like it. He was flexing his wrist.
yeah, I was about to say, didn't Joe Burrow look like he was still hurt?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs look impressive. I'm not saying they should blow them up, but they should beat them by 2 scores.
If the Bengals played the way they did last week, yeah, the Chiefs putting 40 on them.
Yeah, this could be something to concern because I didn't think, and obviously most Bengal fans say, oh, we start off pretty slow or whatever. The Bengals start off slow. Well, it still didn't look impressive. You should have beat the Patriots at home.
Yeah.
And you only scored 10 points.
Yeah. But see, this is what happens when, it's a salary cap. I mean, it's gonna hit the Bengals big time. You got T. Higgins, you got Jamar Chase, and you got Joe Burrow. All 3 of them players on that offense is probably gonna make upwards of $100 million total for a season at some point. And that's for me, that's not good business.
Yeah.
It's not. And you won't be able to have room, have cap room, have money to filter out to the other positions.
Yeah.
Chiefs is gonna put 40 on.
I said the Chiefs win by 2 scores. But this game, if the Bengals don't play right, then this game could get out of hand.
Of course.
Just as much as the Bills Dolphins game is, and it's in KC. I know the Bengals have typically been the team that's honestly been the one team that's been getting the Chiefs number, but they didn't look impressive last week.
Nope.
So.
Nope.
Yep. The Sunday Night Football game. Our Chicago Bears are taking on the Houston Texans. We're having an orange out versus a white out game because the Bears want to wear their orange jerseys with the orange helmets that I'm fine with. Starting to get tired of it, but whatever. I just want them to finally have the all white look. White helmet, white jersey, white pants.
That would be nice if we were, we were healthy. I mean, they had 5, 6 guys that didn't practice on Thursday.
So update, Keenan Allen didn't practice again.
Nope.
Rome Odunze practiced today, but in a limited role. He might play, but they said it's only based on how he feels and things like that. They also confirmed
MCL
2 other things.
MCL sprain.
Huh?
He got an MCL sprain, and they're going to sit up here and try to tell me that Rome Odunze is going to play.
I don't think he's playing. I think Keenan Allen's playing.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, he ain't going to play. MCL sprain, you ain't back after 1 week. Come on.
Yeah, he's going to sit maybe a week or 2. Keenan Allen, honestly, I think he's playing. He's done the same song and dance in LA/San Diego.
Yeah.
I think you
ought to know because he was up there with you all, So, I mean, but if we're looking at it based on who did not play who did not practice yesterday, I would look to say that Keenan Allen won't play, Rome Odunze won't play, Ryan Bates won't play.
Oh, they confirmed Ryan Bates ain't playing. He's out.
He's out. So that means we're stuck with Shelton and Nate Davis again against the Texas front 7. So yeah, you already know the Texans is gonna win this game.
Or I told you 2 weeks ago this game was gonna be a loss. I said
But
we're
I
gonna lose to
did
the Texans.
say if the Bears were completely healthy, they should win this game. They are not completely healthy. They do not have all bullets in the chamber. And I
Oh
mean,
man.
and keep in mind now, we also said this too, that if that week one, if we would have played the Texans instead of the Titans, the Texans would have put 40 on us with the way Joe Mixon was running the football.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know they're gonna give that cat the football.
Yeah. I'm gonna be kind of hoping he runs it up so my fantasy team can do good.
Mm, mm. Well, I don't have a
Yeah.
dog in the fight this week with the Bears and fantasy, but it just don't look good with the way that offensive line has been playing, and you got to deal with Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter
Yeah.
going up trying to tackle a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't look
It,
good, man.
it might be
Especially with the way. I mean,
it might be another tough game for Caleb. Now, if he play
yeah,
as long as he plays good, that's all I care. Don't turn the ball over. Play effectively. I'm not asking him to throw the ball, at least get 200 yards passing. At least get 150. That's all
well,
I ask.
Waldron has got the scheme running
Yeah.
plays to take advantage
Yep.
to keep the defense off balance. You got to have a solid running game.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he knows that coming from Seattle with the running backs he had over there. But I mean, but that offensive line, Cameron, Lord have mercy, man, that was horrible.
Yeah.
That was horrible. And you can't expect the defense to put forth that type of effort week in and week out. If they do, dude, this is the best defense that ever touched the NFL football field if they do that.
Yeah.
At some point, the offense has got to make plays.
Yep.
But do I expect it this week?
No.
Maybe.
I will say I do think the
Maybe.
run game might be better because even though the front seven for the Texans is really good, I don't think it's like you don't have a big man like freaking Sweat clogging up the freaking middle. So I think the Bears run game will be better this week as
Yeah.
opposed to last week, but they'll
Yeah.
still find some struggles. Also, Kerry Blasing game is also out too.
Yeah,
But
he's out as well too. He's out as well too. Now, I will say this about the Bears run game. In order to close the game out, they did run the football and they run it effectively too. So, but the offensive line we have got to win the line of scrimmage. We got to win the line of scrimmage. If we don't, then I can tell you right now, the Texans is going to win this game going away.
Yeah.
If we can't win the line of scrimmage, we got to do something to help this young man and his growth as an NFL quarterback. And last week was not an example of how you do that.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking again of the offensive line. It was absolutely horrible. I think they should cut Nick Davis, but I'm pretty sure they can't because they got too many people on that offensive line. I mean, Ryan Bates is hurt, and you got to sit up here and worry about.
Yeah, that's my only that's my only indictment outside of the Velus Jones stuff with Ryan Poles is he hasn't addressed the offensive line like he needs to address the offensive line.
And that was his position when he played.
The only offensive line pieces he's really addressed was the tackles.
Correct.
And even they're up in the air right now. But I thought they both played a good Sunday last week because they weren't the injury. It was the interior offensive line.
I was about to say I thought the tackles were fine. It was the center and guard positions that pretty much just, I mean, they did nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck Nate Davis be doing. I mean, Dude, I have no idea. I don't even know what they see in practice to say, hey, Nate, we think you can do it this week.
Well, here's the thing. He doesn't even practice. All the training camp, he wasn't practicing.
He shouldn't be out on the field.
I agree.
He shouldn't be on
the Bears staff feel like, well, we ain't got no other better option. That's what happens when I know Ja'Tari Carter wasn't that good. Or he's not like all pro, but he was still a solid player when he was on the
Correct.
offensive line. But guess what they
Correct.
did? They cut him.
They cut him. They cut him. And you made a really good point about stopgaps with the offensive line. Yes, they should just cut that crap out. And I know when it comes to drafting that we've had positions that have had higher priority. I get that. But at the same time, man, come on now. We at some point we have got to start drafting really good offensive linemen and stop bringing in these players who was on the bench in other teams to bring them over here and start because it's just not working.
Yeah.
It's not working. And Ryan Bates, who we got from Buffalo, he's not playing. Nate Davis, we actually signed him as a free agent.
You signed him as a free agent from Tennessee, and he was
From
really good in
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I don't know why I don't know what happened between him and Tennessee.
They
and
said
what went on in Chicago.
It was the practice issues. He didn't take practice seriously. He didn't really practice, but in the games, at least he would show up. But the Tennessee Titans were done with that. They were like, well, if you ain't gonna worry about focus on practicing, you may be good in the game, but we're not gonna pay you that type of money if you're not gonna give your effort in practice.
Correct. And he's probably like, oh, don't worry about it. Some NFL team will sign me, and here it is. We got Chicago.
And especially Ryan Poles came from Kansas City, where they completely redid their offensive line after that Super Bowl. They got destroyed against Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
And what did Ryan and guess what? What was the first positions that they addressed? Center. They got Joe Thuney. And then they signed Joe Thuney. And the next thing you know, boom, they gave him an extension. Long term. That's the thing about it's nowadays in modern NFL, when you got a really damn good offensive line, whether it's a center, a guard, or a tackle, you don't let them go to free agency. If you know they're all pros, you re-sign them on the spot. That's why you got to draft these guys in the draft, especially really high, or you got to find these diamond in the rough players, like say, for example, Jason Kelce, and then you just got to develop them and hope they turn out and be really dang good. I also said in my recap, at the same time, when it comes to the offensive line, I ain't too keen and big about offensive line play, but at the same time, I coach football. At the end of the day, it comes down to these players just having effort and passion and work effort to win their one-on-one battles.
Correct.
And actually block. Because if they're not doing that, well then, okay, are you giving me 100% effort?
And again, sometimes it's three things: discipline, execute, do your job.
Yep.
Discipline, execute, do your job. And you have to do that. You just can't do it during the game. You have to be able to do it throughout the week, during preparation, 100%. And then, like Nate Davis ain't doing it. He obviously is not doing it. If he's not practicing, I don't understand why in the blue hell is he playing.
Because they ain't got nobody else better.
They ain't got nobody else. Because they gave this guy, they didn't give him a king's ransom.
Yeah. Still a
but
lot of money he getting
at the money they signed him for, dude, we could have drafted 2 rookies that we could have developed by now.
Yeah.
So you like to talk about Velus Jones. For me, it's Nate Davis.
Oh, Nate Davis has been an issue. Even
I'm just saying.
I know. I've blown up more about Velus Jones because I've just hated that pick from the moment we drafted him.
Correct. And letting George Pickens go sometime after that. But man, just
it's simple for the Texans. Just don't play down to the competition. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy victory for them. They should beat us by 2 scores. Because the defense is that good for the Bears. It will just be.
Well, I don't think they're going to beat us by. If you're talking 2 scores, I'm probably saying maybe that's 2 field goals. But I don't think it's just going to be an obliteration.
Mm-hmm.
I think the defense can keep us in the game, and when I say us, I do mean the Chicago Bears. I think the defense can keep us in the game close enough where we might have an opportunity in the 4th to win the game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I really don't. But it does not look good when you got potentially, 2 of your best 3 wideouts not in the game. Yeah, possibly out. You got your offensive line from where I sit. I'm pretty sure if you think different, you'll let me know. If whoever in the media and all the talking heads, I think our offensive line is in shambles.
Oh yeah.
They
It's really the center and the right guard.
correct.
Personally, if you ask me, I would have moved Tevin Jenkins over to right guard because when him and Darnell Wright played together last year, they were dominant.
They were dominant.
Now I don't know why the coaching staff is like, yeah, let's move you over to left guard. Maybe because if they move him over to left guard, if you move Nate Davis over to left guard, holy hell, Braxton Jones
Yeah,
might
because
look worse.
he out of position on the right side.
Yeah.
Don't get me started with Nate Davis, dog.
It ain't good. It
It's
ain't
just
good for the Bears. They got to
yeah.
figure out
I
this
mean, it
offensive
ain't.
line in a
Yeah,
bad.
it ain't good at all. You know, they're gonna have to run the football just to keep Hunter and Will Anderson from digging their heels in and just coming full force into the backfield
And
in
heck,
passing situations.
even making sure that because we saw this last week, even when they were doing play action, whether it was the ends or the backers, they're just like, oh, we don't care about the run. We
Mhm.
ain't falling for it. You're just passing. They got to
Yeah,
establish a run game and they want the play action to be effective.
correct.
And they want to at least have the backers at least sitting back in coverage and not playing the run. So then the run is least expected. Again, we'll see. I got the Texans winning this game. CJ Stroud should look good against the Bears defense. I hope that maybe the Bears find ways on defense to force some turnovers with its fumbles or maybe somehow getting an interception off Stroud and flipping the
Yeah,
field on a short field. The Bears also do need to convert for touchdowns this game as opposed to field goals.
correct.
But we'll see.
Well, we can't expect the Bears we can't expect the Bears every week to get 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
First of all, we got to stop Joe Mixon. Got to stop
Yeah.
the run. We got to make them one-dimensional because if CJ Stroud is dropping back 45, 50 times, I think that plays in our favor.
Yeah.
You know, so it should start again with the line of scrimmage. Stop Joe Mixon, and on the other side, we got to run with DeAndre Swift, Travis Homer, and Khalil Herbert, whichever one you like still.
Herbert.
But I'll go with the Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Monday night game is the Falcons at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Man, please. You see now why I said it was a great idea to draft Michael Penix.
Yeah, I see that. Here's my problem.
Kirk Cousins looked old.
Here's my problem. Why'd you pay Kirk Cousins all that type of money then?
They paid him first before.
I know they paid him first, but if the Falcons were ever interested in drafting a quarterback, they should have never even paid him. You're just wasting money.
Maybe so. But it's always just as an insurance policy. Because, I mean, you pay him based on what the market says. So he got what he was supposed to. So now you get that insurance policy in the event he looks the way he looked.
Yeah, he looked awful.
He looked bad.
The man can't even.
And
it's funny.
And he had throws. He had throws he could make. But again, it's the same thing. Just like I saw with Aaron Rodgers, he is having trouble getting from point A to point B to hand the football off to Bijan Robinson.
I see some clips. People are like, "This man ain't even throwing off and putting pressure on that heel of his throwing foot."
Nope. Him and Aaron Rodgers, they basically looked washed. They looked washed.
That's starting to look like it seems like that might be a bad contract.
Yep.
Falcons stupidly paid.
Yep. And what's that contract? What is it, like 44, 45 million?
Around
something like that?
Essentially.
Yeah. So, but I see why. And I hope him and Aaron Rodgers are, they stretching out them legs and they're moving around, because I gotta admit, man, they look bad.
Yeah. The Eagles, um, in their game against the Packers in Brazil, jeez Louise, I know our offensive line ain't good, but holy hell, man. I'm kind of regretting not wanting just to pay Saquon outright. That's a threat. He was again behind that Eagles offensive line, he a problem.
And then on top of more so than that, with them weapons that they got.
Yeah.
Brown, Smith, and Dotson. Man,
And I thought
what you gonna do?
Hurts played an average game. Some of the throws he was making. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, but again, from a quarterback standpoint, it is game one.
Yeah.
And he'll iron out those little, kinks. But they didn't serve notice that hey, Saquon is gonna be a problem.
Yep.
So you can bring them linebackers down if you want, but we got Dallas Goedert in between the numbers. And now we got Brown and Smith on the outside of the numbers. Man, defenses are going. Defensive coordinators are going to be pulling their hair out when Philadelphia coming in.
Yeah.
So
Give me pretty good performance. Their defense, it's a work in progress with Vic Fangio.
yeah, that's true. But it's Vic, and us Bears fans, we know just how good Vic can and can be.
Yeah, but here's the difference. He hasn't been that. His defense hasn't been. His defense realistically hasn't been good since like somewhat in
Well,
Denver, but really hasn't been like elite defense since
no, he
2018.
had an elite defense when he was with Chicago. He had an elite defense, but the problem was he became a head coach.
Yeah.
And that, for me, that was the issue. So I'm thinking if he would have stayed a DC, then maybe he could have probably sustained that level of excellence as a defensive coordinator. But he became a head coach and got derailed a little bit.
Yeah.
So does he have the personnel in Philadelphia to do the kind of the defense? I'm pretty sure he would if he had Hassan Reddick, really good pass rusher. The interior linemen are really good with Philadelphia, obviously, but he's got to have those outside guys,
Outside edges. Because
yeah,
he only has what are their ends? It's just Sweat, right?
yeah,
Josh Sweat?
yeah. That's it. Hassan Reddick to go to the Jets,
And he's still in his contract issues.
yeah. So I mean, Philadelphia offensively is a problem because if you don't play the right player at the right time, you giving up sixes. And Hurts is, but the thing is, Hurts has got to make those really good decisions though.
Yeah.
And against Green Bay, he really didn't. Otherwise, they would have put 50 on Green Bay.
Yeah.
But I still like Philadelphia this game.
Yeah, Philadelphia's defense, they definitely need to generate more of a pass rush. Their secondary is all right, but it's not best. So that's probably like the next thing that they definitely have to work on in the coming years is improving that defense. Now, it'll be interesting to see what type of money they can even put towards that defense since all their money is literally invested in the offense. And I don't know how the contracts are all going to work because they're paying like Jalen Hurts a big time contract, Saquon, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Yep.
You're paying a few guys in that O line a lot of money.
Yeah. Now keep in mind though, they did re-up Hurts before quarterback salary started going crazy to the 40 and 50 and damn near $60 million range. So at least they got Hurts signed before all of that. So he is not like, let's just say, he's making good money as a, so I think he's 38, maybe, I think. I'm not sure. I'd have to go over the cap and look, but he ain't up there right with Jordan Love, who at 52, and Dak Prescott, who my
God. What's your thoughts about that contract? I was going to ask that question.
Well, me personally, what I probably would have done, I would have let the season play out.
Okay.
I think
would have dared him to go to free agency and potentially leave.
Right. I would have let the season play out. We don't win a Super Bowl, then I'm not giving you crap. That's just, my take on it. So, but they know Jerry Jones, and they know Jerry Jones is going to give up the cash.
Yeah,
And
maybe that Stephen A. Smith interview worked.
maybe if the Cowboys happen to win the Super Bowl, then Jerry Jones gonna look like a genius.
Well, Jerry Jones is gonna take all the credit saying, "Oh, I did this."
Oh yeah, I decided to sign Dak Prescott to the contract, and whatever.
You think they pay Micah?
Yeah. Yeah. But I would have took care of them two first. I would have took care of Micah, and obviously he gave the money to CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Which told me when he signed CeeDee Lamb, he was gonna sign Dak.
Yeah. Be interesting if they somehow have Micah go to free agency, because there'll be a lot of teams that will want him.
I can't imagine them letting that cat go.
If they let him go, that's if I'm the Bears, break open the bank. That's your opposite pass rusher.
Break it open.
And I know Darrell Taylor was good last week for us.
Yeah.
But holy heck. Montez Sweat and Micah Parsons?
Man, I would pull that Dark Knight Joker when he blew open a bank and drove away with with all this money in a school bus. That's the kind of money I would bust out for Micah Parsons. Be like, dog, y'all need to go on down to First Chicago and bust open the east side door where the vault is, and y'all pull all of that cash out for Micah Parsons. I mean, but I think Jerry ain't stupid. I think he gonna sign him. I think the intent was to sign them all anyway.
Yeah.
Now how it bodes for the cap, maybe we can have a video later on to talk about that.
Yeah.
But because I do look at a lot of cap numbers every now and then especially with the Bears. Bears cap numbers look really good right now moving forward. But
yeah, exciting week of NFL. College football seems to be exciting. I know your Crimson Tide take on Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll win, but the way they played against South Florida, that was not good.
They didn't look good. They haven't looked good in back-to-back weeks.
They haven't looked good. So maybe we'll snap out of it against Wisconsin, but then there's Georgia.
Oh, now don't you guys have to go to Georgia, or they go to you?
That's a good question.
Because you in Georgia, I'm sorry, you're getting.
I think we go to them. I'm pretty sure we go to them. So, but Wisconsin is no pushover. In all the years we have played them in past years, they've never been a pushover. So it's not like they're going to be, they just going to roll over for us, So that's not going to happen. And and I can just tell you about what I feel the pressure on Kellen DeBoer if he loses this football game. The game before Georgia, it's going to be tough.
What'd you think about Tom Brady's first appearance on Fox and his broadcasting? I thought it was fine.
I still like Greg Olsen better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's with Joe Davis, though. Joe Davis is nice, even though he's a Dodger announcer, and I don't like the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
the only time it was all right, but again, I like Greg Olsen better. To me, Greg Olsen does a little bit more. He's more of an X's and O guy, whereas
Brady's just trying to figure it out and get it in tune.
Yeah, correct. I mean, even Tony Romo, when he first came in, what we all liked about Romo was his prediction of a play before it happens, and I didn't get that sense out of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all right. But again, I like Greg Olsen better.
Last thing, did you see the Shannon Sharp stuff?
I was wondering when we were going to talk about it. Yes,
I saw it, and it's weird that he says he threw his phone down, and tell me if I'm wrong, he threw his phone down and it just automatically started recording on IG Live. Right?
Yeah. Because I've never been on IG Live, but people say like there's a few like authentication factors before you go live.
Correct. There's a lot of buttons you have to push before going live. So he must have been thinking about going live before he threw that phone down. If it was a mistake.
Yeah.
But
it was funny. It was funny. I'll
but
say that. I was driving to work.
It was definitely funny.
Uh-huh.
But so I'm still wondering.
ESPN already come out and said they ain't gonna let him go.
I never thought they would anyway. I never thought they would anyway. But he apologized for it, and I still think it was done to show folks he's not gay. That's just my conspiracy. That's just my conspiracy theory. Because even Ocho, it was it Ocho or was it Cat Williams?
Cat Williams said he called
Cat Williams. Yeah, Cat Williams say, yeah.
At least now folks don't think you gay. So I think it was more about that than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch yesterday's night, or did you watch yesterday's nightcap? They literally had, after they talked the Dolphins game, they literally had the roast of Shannon Sharp. They had like Godfrey, a bunch of other people. Cam Newton was on it. Snoop Dogg was on it.
Really?
Yeah. They were making a mockery of this man.
Yeah. But you know what, though? One thing one thing I did see was Ocho was talking about his stamina or something like that.
Because he was grunting or whatever.
It was like, dude, you were huffing and puffing. So I'm glad, but see, that's smart. It's brilliant, because if he takes away the power from the peanut gallery, by making light of it, because that's what the peanut gallery gonna do. So it's just like, if we come up with all the best jokes about it, then what can the peanut gallery do? Nothing. Brilliant. Gotta commend them. And so at least he set out to prove something, and I think he did.
Well, you gotta be careful next time. So that's all I got.
Well, it's like 4 or 5 buttons you got to push just to go on IG Live. So I'm pretty sure that he'll be careful this time.
Anyways, we're gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, and hit the subscribe button if you want to get more NFL content. We'll be here Sunday night. I don't know if you'll be on Sunday night. I might be solo again.
Ain't no telling, because I'm here in Germany
and anything can happen. So in the quote Shannon Sharp, you all knew what kind of dude I was before I walked in the door.
Yep. Otherwise, if you want to get my thoughts on the Bears-Texans game after Sunday Night Football, I'll be making a video. So yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I probably will try to stay up for that one, because I'm gonna have to calm you down.
Yeah. I don't want to lose my mind again.
It's gonna be a long day, because I know when I catch your videos, if I don't see you in the screen, oh, you pissed. Then you start walking in, and you're pacing back and forth. I'm like, oh, I might have to call my nephew just to take him off the ledge. What in the